After a certain amount of time of you making your payments, normally like 6 months to a year or something, depending on the card, they'll go ahead and make it an unsecured line and you'll get your money back. What's going on, my credit fiends? We got a video today for you guys. What are the secured cards? Who are they good for? Do you need one, etc.? What does this mean versus unsecured? Okay, so you are going to have your own balance. Whatever you decide to put on the card is what you're going to be able to borrow from, okay? So you're going to be borrowing from yourself essentially, okay? And then any of those payments that you make or anything that you borrow and you make payments on, you're gonna be making payments on the money that you gave them to borrow from. So what is this good for? Who needs this? This is just good for people that are building their credit for the first time, have no credit, or if you have bad credit, if you need to repair your credit or restore it, get back good again. So some people go through divorces and the other person leaves and then they have all these bills and their credit gets destroyed, or the other person dealt with everything and that person ended up having no credit and when they split their ways. There's a lot of different reasons as to why, but that's just one example. So right here on my computer, I have pulled up the best secured cards of 2024. If you scroll down and you scroll through these, you'll get a good sense of the cards that are available to you. So the first one that we have available is the Secured Self Visa credit card. It's from Self, and you can see the APR on that. So this is not like some type of checking account or prepaid Visa card or anything like that. So this is a credit card. It's just that they're not giving you the money to borrow from. You're putting your own credit line on there. So you will borrow against your own money for 29%. They have the Chime Secured Credit Builder. You can see the reviews right there. Capital One, Discover. So if you go through, you see that Discover It secured card actually has a 10.99% intro on balance transfers for 6 months. That's a little bit confusing because let's say you put $500 of your own money on the card to borrow from, and then you take from another card $200 or so, and then you throw that on the card. Well, essentially you're transferring the money over to that card to borrow at a 10.99%. So the only way that this is going to actually help somebody is if they have another card. But to me, it just wouldn't make sense. Like if it's a secured card, that means that you have the cash to pay the other card off, because it's not an unsecured card where they're just giving you a line to transfer over like a normal credit card and have a lower interest rate or 0% interest. But if you have the money, because this is a secured card, I would just say go ahead and pay that other card off instead of getting another secured card to transfer it over and still pay on it. So to me, that doesn't really make sense, but I'm sure there's a reason for it, okay? You have the Capital One, you have Open Sky. There's a lot of good ones. As you go down, you'll see that the APR gets lower. APR is the yearly rate as to what your interest rate would be on the year. So this one has 25, this one is a 25 fixed. So fixed and variable are two different things. Fixed means that it's not going to change. Variable means that they can change it, or depends on the market conditions as to what your interest rate is going to be, whether it gets raised or lowered. Just depends on market conditions. The DCU Visa Platinum Secured Credit Card, I do have a video on DCU if you want to go look at that. But this interest rate is saying that it's at 16.75%, and it's also variable. So that's the lowest that it goes to, which is really good because a lot of regular credit cards have a really high interest rate, like 24 to 30%. So this is actually saving you a good amount. I know it's your own money. However, if you need the secured card, then that means that you need to repair your credit. So I would say go with DCU. Obviously, that's like a credit union, so they're gonna have one of the better options when it comes to borrowing money, any type of money, whether it be a loan, auto loan, home loan, anything like that. And then the Navy Federal also has a secured credit card. And this is a really good one because it has an 18% interest rate. Obviously it's variable, but it has 18%. So that's also extremely low. This is the best for military. Navy Fed also allows you to have like brothers and sisters come in and stuff like that. USAA does not allow that. You have to be like a direct member, or you have to be like a spouse or directly like a child or something like that. But Navy Fed makes it a lot easier for you to get in. So those would be my two top picks, DCU and Navy Fed, if you do need the secured credit card. Now, as for the other thing, like I said, the transfers, balance on transfers up to 6 months on the Discover card, that's pretty cool. But like I said, if you already have the money because you're making your own line by securing it, right? Then you would just go ahead and pay that off. But how secure cards work, normally most of the time you'll go on here, like let's click on this DCU one, for example. Normally after a certain amount of time of you making your payments, normally like 6 months to a year or something, depending on the card, they'll go ahead and make it an unsecured line and you'll get your money back. So right here, if you go on NerdWallet like I'm doing, you can see the pros and the cons of everything. Right here, you can see all the pros. So this one doesn't have any foreign transaction fees or anything like that. Of course, it's going to require minimum deposit because it is a secured credit card. You must be a member because this is a credit union, as for all credit unions, and there's no rewards on the on these types of cards. Okay, so normally you have a required deposit of 500. Some of them are a little bit lower, but most of the time it's going to start around 500 and it can go all the way up to sometimes like 5,000. I think the Navy Federal one goes up to 5,000. You may be able to qualify to pony a deposit less than your credit line. A $200 initial line can be had for a deposit of $49.99 or $200. The issuer allows you to pay your deposit in installments. And if you make your monthly payments on time, you can gain access to a higher credit line with no additional deposit. Right here, see? No additional deposit required in as little as 6 months. Just like I said, that's the kind of flexibility needed by people watching their nickels. Whatever they're talking about. You're not watching your nickels if you want secured. I'm telling you that right now, but you should be. That's all I got for you guys. Let me know if you guys got any questions. Let me know down below. Let me see if you guys got anything you guys want to see. Let me know down below as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Keep feeding for this credit because I got you.